So yeah, so let's say root creates admin groups. Just for the sake of recording, I'm just repeating this part. Root creates admin groups. Let's say two users, Ram and Sita, for example. You can take any name, A, B, C, D, whatever you feel like. Let's say Ram creates server group, Sita creates network group, and whatever groups are required. I think there is a deployment group required. Okay, whatever is required, just create those groups by these two people. Now, if you read the scenario, it will be written over there what all things you need. Now, in the server group, let us say you give the server access, full permission to the server EC2 module in a network, and maybe you give a read-only access to the VPC so that these people can at least go and check if any routing table issue is there. They do not need complete permission. They will not fix the problem if it is there. They just need to see it, if at all. Okay, these guys similarly will get the full access to the VPC console, etc. Now, let's say you got a user called, let's say, for example, let's say, I don't know, Rahim, and let's say another user called, let's say, for example, like, what name shall I take? Let's say Himesh. I remember that singer. Anyways, now let us say these two things we got over here. So then what we have to do is like now Rahim, let's say, logs in and he, sorry, let's say Himesh logs in first and he literally creates the VPC and whatever, all the stuff, subnet, IGW, etc. You know the deal. All these things, let's say, created. Then Rahim logs in, uses that VPC to create the EC2 instances that is required, logs into the EC2 instance, create, let's say, deploys the website or whatever. Or if there is a separate deployment group, it is there. So this guy will just create the server and then ideally supposed to pass the credential. That means here you don't need to do anything because you're doing on the one computer, you'll have the key file. But in regular scenario, they will just transfer the key file. Okay, this is how you can log in. And then that, let's say there is another guy who is from, let's say, the let's say deployment group. Deployment group means you will need the read-only access to the servers. Read-only access because he does not need to change the server. He just need to log into the server. So read-only access is fine. So let us say this guy is called, let's say, for example, I don't know, maybe let's say, give me some name, let's say Ananya or something. So then Ananya, let's say, comes into picture and she logs into that instance. Okay. Oh my God. Okay. Logs into the instance. Let's say hosts whatever you want to host. Let's say you're like a HTTPD or stuff. And then finally you should be able to see it. So basically, instead of one person doing everything, the target of this project is to make you understand that how you can distribute the work and get the work done in a group format. Okay. So this is what you have to do. And remember, when you are, if at all, let's say you are in the administration job role, unfortunately, if that happens, you're gonna perform this job, this Ram or Sita, whatever. If you are in the network field, or if there is any specialization of networking, let's say, then you are going to be this person. If it is server related, you're going to be this person. If it is, let's say, if you are a DevOps engineer and working as a deployment, in the deployment part of it, you're going to work as this part. So that means this is also related to your, on a broader aspect, to the job roles that you typically get when you get selected in a company. Okay, so that is why it is important that you do it in this way instead of just taking, like, why would I give you a project to log in and create an EC2 instance and host HTTP? That is like a 2-minute job. The point of this project is to make sure that you set it up properly.
Understand from zero to hero, right, sir? From zero to, I mean, it means, I mean, the purpose is to understand from, I mean, basic to, I mean, the, what you can say.
Yes, how the fundamentally the administration works.
Because in the very first project only, you are almost covering almost 80% of AWS, whatever you have taught it.
No, not exactly. Like, you are not covering like the auto scaling stuffs and all those things that are going to come up over here. It is kind of just the modules you are touching, and majorly you're focusing on the administration part. That's literally what is happening. Yeah, it is covering everything, but not really going into the depth. Monitoring is the easiest part. You're going to simply just set up some monitors on your CloudWatch. You already know they come in those drop downs below, right? Not drop down, those boxes below, right? So it is simply just a CloudWatch, watching the thing. That's all it is about. There is nothing much to do over here. Just the idea of this project is to get, there is a scenario written over there, but the main idea over here is to just get you accustomed with the how the monitoring is going on and all those stuff. Just to get you accustomed, nothing else. You can completely ignore this also. The main project is going to be this one, the third one, that is the biggest one, architecting. This is about everything. Okay, so there you are going to need to set up a complete load balancer and stuff. There is a complete question given, like there has to be some application load balancer and divided into paths, or maybe classic load balancer. Just check the question, whatever is given. So it is going to revolve around the complete EC2 and the complete VPC. This is the biggest cream of this thing, RDS, etc. Those things. This is the cream of the entire. You can say um, project group that you have, right? So this is the most essential one. This one will have everything. If you are doing these projects together in the sense like you, let's say, first did this, then ignore this one. This is just a small one, but still just for your studying part. But using these users, if you can carry out this one, that will give you even a better idea. Because normally this Himesh, this Rahim, and this Ananya will be the people who will be kind of handling this. You might need to, if there is RDS threads over here, you might need another group for RDS access, create another user, or maybe take one user, add into the both the groups. That also you can do. Try that out. That will work. So they will have both the permissions coming from group one and group two. Let's say like VPC from network group. Let's say the server guy itself. So EC2 from this group and RDS from that group, etc. You can also choose to have like multiple users in one group, like let's say the EC2 group, server group. You might put, let's say, two users. Let's say Rahim is there, and let's say, for example, take some other name. Let's say, for example, Vishal is there. I just took my name. Anyways, so you take, let's say, Rahim guy to do a little bit part of it, maybe just creating the AMIs or something. Let the Vishal guy come into picture, and then do this thing. So you will understand in a much better way. I mean, what I want you to do is literally sit with your computer, relax. Let's say one Sunday or something you got, just dive into the entire thing. Just keep on creating from here, from there, from here, from there. Once you start going into the deep of it, you will find the real crux of it. If you're doing it just for the sake of doing, if you do this thing, then also your project will complete. And if you do it very nicely by getting into deep into that, then also the project will complete. But if you go into deep and do it, then that will give you the essential idea. You will, first of all, you will figure out that whatever you have done in the classes throughout our last 2 months of course journey, you will figure out that those things you're kind of able to connect right now. That is one thing that will happen. And that will also help you out when you are explaining your projects to your, let's say, this thing, your interviews. It will sound more authentic. You remember that Drishyam movie, right? It is something like that.
Yes, yes.
Understood? It is something like that. Anybody watch Drishyam? Did anybody understand the reference? No, nobody.
We have
Oh,
watched many times.
you watched many times, right? Yeah, you should
Very
understand
nice
this
movie.
reference. Everybody understands.
I
So
understood. I
just
understood.
make this thing be your drishyam, okay? So that when actual you have to do the actual drishyam part, you can do it in your interview. This
Do
is
it
going to
nicely.
be huge. You can make it as huge you want. You want to make it very small, you can make it very small. But this is supposed to be huge. So like gather all the knowledges, whatever you have done, kind of be equipped with that. Now, so far, if you have not yet been able to, let's say, cover up whatever you have learned till this point, first learn that. Otherwise ये project तो उतर जाएगा probably. This is like the monitoring part, but here you will get real stuck if you have not yet been able to, let's say, do the hands on really. So for whoever out of, let's say, us, we are not yet, let's say, until that point, let us first try to reach to that point and then attempt it. Otherwise you will go, let's say, you will figure out, oh, I know auto scaling, let me try. You will go one step, you'll get stuck. You will not figure out what went wrong. Something troubleshooting issue will come. So feeling you know something and actually being able to do, you can see like so far, let's say, we have found out that Anuj's practice has been the no, up to the highest level among, let's say, all of us in this particular batch. So, and let's say a very silly mistake that took place. This happens. Okay. Srinivas definitely knows how to operate, let's say, how to launch a server. He has seen it many times, but a silly mistake happened. Okay. Some IGW was not there in the routing table. So these kind of silly mistakes will happen. That is supposed to happen. Let it go on. Don't be frustrated due to that. If that does not happen, how will you learn? Right? That's how it is supposed to be. But the more practiced you are with whatever you have done, you have the recordings and things, the more practiced you are, the more easier it will be to execute the project. Because remember, when you're going into the project, it's an elaborate thing. If the bits and pieces of the things are still missing from your memory or from your practice, then when you try to do the elaborate thing, you will be lost among where it is not working and all those things. Think about it. You have like 3 users. How many times will you log out of this user, go to that user, figure out, because you do not know where the problem is happening? So better first tighten your grip a little bit and then try to dive into the project. If you then do it, then probably in one day you'll be able to pull off the project. Obviously, it is not going to be of the huge volume like you actually do in industry. In industry, you do these things only. The volume will be much. Like here, there are 3 people you are working with. There will be like 30 people you are working with. Same thing, just the volume will be multiplied. It will be amplified. That's the only change gonna happen, right? So just make sure that you understand this properly and then go ahead over here. Otherwise, you are bound to be frustrated. You will have no idea. You will feel like, oh my God, I did not learn anything and all those things. To save yourself from there, first prepare, then jump. You generally get a deadline of 15 days to finish the projects, like a week for each kind of, I mean, 5 day for each project kind of a thing. But now tell me very honestly, how much time do you think you need to
I
be able
think
to?
2 days.
2 days. Okay. Let me hear from others who are a little bit lagging behind.
So I personally feel for catching up itself, maybe
Catching up itself, it will probably take
roughly
you
say
around 2 weeks minimum,
15, and
if at all.
then
If it may take more also.
yeah,
Okay. So what
and
we
then
have to do is
probably another
basically
2 weeks.
once the project, let's say you're doing, you are supposed to submit project report for 2 out of 3 projects. It will be written 3, but 2 out of 3 is what text stories follows the rule. That means the project number 1 and the project number 3 I'm most interested into. Project report, how it is to be submitted. When you're doing the jobs, you're supposed to take screenshots of the pages of the stuffs. That means, let's say you open up a Word file, or you can take the normal, what is that? You keep on clicking, it keeps on taking. Now there is a tool in Windows machines. But normally, let us say what you need to do is like open up a Word file or something, or Google Doc or anything, and just keep on doing the step one by one. Take a screenshot, paste it, put a headline, let's say creating a server group, and that's a 3-4 screenshots coming below it. Creating network group, 3-4 screenshots. So whatever is relevant. So that means when, let's say, it comes to me, or if someone else is watching it, seeing your, checking your project, when they're, let's say, scrolling through the document, it should give them a complete idea how you went from where to where.
But
This
sir,
can easily become huge thing. I have seen people submitting documents of 130 pages, 140 pages, because screenshot, right? In one page, only 2-3 screenshot will maximum come. Sometimes not even that. So it can easily reach 130, 140 pages. Don't worry about it. Okay, that's okay. Tell me, Anuj, something you're telling.
sometimes what happens, na, taking a screenshot, like few of the you are creating BPC, or might be something different thing, right? And that page is itself very, I mean lengthy. You are not able to take in one screenshot.
No, not in one screenshot. You just, like print screen button is there. Like as soon as you press it will get copied, right? The screen will get copied. Print screen you press on your keyboard, the screen gets copied. Go to
But
your
that will,
like alt tab, go
how
to your
much,
doc, paste.
it will, yeah, but how much it will be, what you can say, adjusted in your screen, that much only it will be taken, right?
That's correct. That's correct. That much only it will be taking. If it is not taking completely, see, basically the project report, the person who is watching, it is not like he is trying to learn from the report. He is trying to see that how you have proceeded forward. So if whatever is coming off the screen, at least something will come, right? It will be able to people. If you see that the thing is in the bottom of the screen, you will definitely scroll down and take the screenshot, right? So that
No,
much you will be
whatever
able to
the
do.
things you are telling, that I have already prepared.
Hmm. What you have already prepared.
I mean, everything, like how to create BPC and how to everything in a Word file with the screenshot, with
That
the,
you have
I
prepared,
mean,
that is good for your, let's say, own understanding. You have created it, which is very good. You have done a very good job. But when you are doing this project, right? So at that point of time, go in step by step process. Let's say this one you are doing, the first one. So we'll be able to see, right? You will just write a heading, like let's say admin groups, then 3 screenshots, let's say, coming. If one it is not coming, just scroll down and take the second one. As long as if someone, whoever will be reviewing the project, that person already knows a lot. If he just sees a glance at it, he will understand whether it is correct or not. So just try to give it in such a way so that the report makes sense. That's what you have to do, right? That's all it is, right?
yes.
Okay. Just think like how testers work, right? They keep on taking screenshot of all the, like, let's say, scenarios when they try to, test something is not working. Immediately take screenshot, put it over there, send it as a PDF file. That's the process we have to follow. That is how reports are done. I mean, the screenshot based reports, right? Okay, so try this out. I'll do one thing. I will, ask them to upload the project from Monday. They will count basically since today it's already like already night. So they will give typically they put out 15-day time. I'll just ask them to put a 20-day time. That means after 20 days, your project has to be submitted. Okay, because the project submission is directly related to the certificate release, and also my part is also there over there. So project submission must be done. It's just to be done like in a zip file. Just upload, put all the PDFs, like let's say 2 or 3 PDF, whatever. 2 is fine. Just put both the PDFs into one zip file and then upload the zip file in the LMS only. Where you will receive the project, you will find an option to submit also. As soon as you receive, you will understand. Just submit it over there, okay, within 20 days. Now the point is that for the people who are lagging behind and you have not been able to, let's say, catch up quite as much, for you, at least finish one project in the 20 days. So at least there is something for you to submit. Okay, that's important. Something, at least there is, maybe just the first one. This is the easiest project. Probably there is not much documentation to be done over here, but these two requires, right? So at least this one you finish for the people who are thinking that they might not be able to go until this point. But I am just trusting you on this fact that you will actually practice this out, by yourself at least. But for the submission, minimum you submit this. Okay, so that at least in the process wise something has come from your end. It should not be like nothing has come. Something should come, right? So anybody can be able to do everything. Go ahead, very good. If you can't, at least one you do. That's kind of the idea. Okay, fine. So
Yes, sir.
And
this
sir,
thing,
meanwhile, if we have any issue or doubts,
Yeah, even
how we
my
can
question
clear
is
that
same.
out?
you can raise on LMS, right? Arvind is every day raising 3 questions over there. Raise on LMS. No problem.
I did that, but I didn't got a reply also for just one
Okay, maybe I missed it. Okay, because since the
4 days
batch is
now.
tagged to me, I have to see.
But
So
still,
after
I mean,
today, what will happen?
LMS is fine, but if such class can be conducted where we can, we can share screen and maybe try to understand because
That's when you
that
have
may
to talk
help.
to, yeah, you have to talk to then your tech stories, because what will happen is, like, let's say once I'll just stop the recording.
Sir, you can't